Hi, welcome to the Fantasy Football Clown Show. I'm your host, Ed Smith. Today we're going to take a look at Quick Fix 2, a 12 team league. And this started the summer of 2020, and it had to be one of the first leagues that I drafted. Um, I'm not sure if it was, the absolute first but it had to be one of the first leagues I drafted because just kind of looking at the draft, I realized I had no plan. I just got lucky, or I don't know. We'll go through it and we'll dive into before I really understood much about fantasy football. I think this is where ignorance on fire came into play, and so a little bit about the scoring. It's 1 point PPR, 1.5 point PPR for the tight end. It starts one quarterback, one super flex, two running back, three receiver, one tight end, two flex for 10 starters, 15 bench, five taxi for 20 there, and then five IR for five. So 35 players possible to roster, and I had the first overall pick in the startup, and then that would lead me to looking kind of at things here. Would have been the 12th pick overall in the rookie draft, so it was an inverse kind of thing, is how it worked, and so we'll kind of go through that a little bit when we break down the team, but just to kind of look at the team. With the first overall pick, a team starts with Pat Mahomes, um, Mac Jones, and Tyrod, Flacco, PJ Walker, Rudolph, Woodside, Wolford, Minshew, and Franks. So that's the quarterback room. The running back room: Miles Sanders, Connor, Carson, P. Ryan, Jared Patterson, Sermon, and Sargent. The receiver room: Quez Watkins, Pittman, St. Brown, Slayton, Colin Johnson, Fitzpatrick. The tight end room: Knox, Goddard, Fryermuth, Jonnu Smith, Arnold, and Gray. Um, the picks coming up in this draft: pick number 2, pick number 6 in the second round, pick 14, 18 in the third round, 26, 27, 29 in the fourth round, 38, 41, and in 2023, actually two firsts, two seconds, two thirds, two fourths. And I say all that to say, so this team made the playoffs in 2020, first year in operation, and with the sixth seed, and didn't win any money. Or maybe it did, actually. I think it did come in third, but it came in as the sixth seed and then came in third, got third place money last year. And then this year finished in 11th spot. So a couple things that you'll learn about me as we go through these, and I'm sitting back in the chair because I guess I'll tell you I get frustrated. If the team gets worse, that's terrible. Like, that's just management. That's bad management of a team. And so this is one team that I guess I'm going to vent about, that I just think that holy shit, it shouldn't get worse. We should always be progressionally getting better, no matter what. Always should be getting better at this game. We should not have teams that go from the playoffs to virtually last place. Like, what did we do? And I do have the philosophy that when you have Pat Mahomes on the team, then you have a shot. Like, right, you have a shot to win, and that's good. So with that first pick, taking Pat Mahomes is good. But where it came off the rails was in a 1.5 point tight end premium, right? Only half point tight end premium. At the 212, 3-1, I take Kelsey and Andrews. And you'll notice I don't even have those guys anymore, so I must have traded them away for some of the first round draft capital, and that's great. But that's me panicking, thinking that one tight end, 1.5 point the half point premium was mattered, and I take, because I see Kittle go to 11 and I react to what other people trade. I don't just trade with logic and appeal, and so, or draft with logic and sense. And so here I get caught up in the emotion of the picks, and then I fall back to take Montgomery and Chris Carson, and I'm looking at my thing. I do have Carson, but must have traded Montgomery for some capital too. And then we follow in at the end. I realize that there's no quarterbacks left when I start picking 6, 12, and 7, 1, and I'm taking Minshew and Haskins. I mean, what a joke! And it's not like I took Haskins over players that made any sense. I mean, I'm taking him over Teddy Bridgewater, Cam Newton type guys. Like, it's guys like Jared Goff are gone, Breeze are gone, Drew Lock is gone. Like, when I'm taking Minshew and Haskins, and so yeah, I got Tyrod Taylor after that, but that's kind of the quarterback room, and if we just kind of think about that, they're all done. Like, I have no quarterbacks on this team, and so I really had to trade those aging assets because I couldn't win with the team that I had, and I can't win with Kelsey and Andrews either because one of them in the flex doesn't make anybody's sense. It just there's no rhyme or reason. Then I followed in later. I see I got David Johnson. That's a waste, and Boston Scott. And I mean, there's just nobody of quality in this draft out of here. Like I feel like there was just mistake after mistake after mistake of startup draft, and I was really probably drafting the best player available, thinking that trying to balance the team. And so this is one of those experiences where it's just mistake after mistake, and you can win in year one with mistake after mistake, but when you build the foundation mistake after mistake after mistake, it is hard to come back from, and it takes you that you fall to 11th place the next year. And so I'm gonna look at that rookie draft. So I had the first pick, and I hate even this kind of thing. And so then with the 12th pick in the draft, and I, I had the 12th and the 2-1. So the 12th pick, I take Rager and Pittman with the 2-1. And you'd say, well, gee, that was crappy pick of Rager and Pittman. Yeah, kind of. But Jefferson's gone, Judy's gone, Lamb's gone, so I didn't really get too crazy there. And Herbert's gone, Tua's gone, Burrow's gone, and CEH, Jonathan Taylor, Dobbins, Swift, and Akers are gone. So I mean, I didn't get killed. It was early enough that we didn't know about Gibson. I see he went later, and Keyshawn Vaughn went later, and Moss went later. But you know, would have I really been that much better? The dart throw for Rager and Pittman were probably just as good. I mean, I'd rather have Gibson now, naturally, in hindsight, but I'd rather have T. Higgins, I'd rather have Ayuk, but I wouldn't rather have Mims. I mean, there was misses in that second round that year, and actually Hamler went, and then I'm looking to see who went before I took P. Ryan and Asiasi, who was a dud, but by that time, I did take him over Cephas and Van Jefferson and Jacob Eason. I mean, but at that point I already had tight ends, so the Komet and Troutman were going after that, and James Robinson. But at the early portions of 2020, we didn't know what James Robinson are. So there were some passes there that I made some mistakes in this draft, but I actually don't feel terrible about the rookie draft, even though Rager was on the team. It didn't feel like I was making just ridiculous analysis of there. So it looks like I corrected by the rookie draft a little bit in my theories. And then if I look at the 2021 rookie draft, I think I felt obligated to make some trades. And so I traded out of the 7th spot back to the 11th spot to add draft capital again. And I took Mac Jones with that 11th spot, which was probably the right pick, even though, Pitts was the pick I traded away. I feel like having Mac Jones to couple with Pat Mahomes kind of stabilizes things, even though it became an 11th place team. Now we at least have two quarterbacks, so we're two on the way, but we still have some work to do. And then, it allowed me to, you might say make a mistake by by taking Sermon, and then I did get St. Brown, in the second round last year as well. So, and then Freiermuth, but I did take Freiermuth was the 3rd pick in the second round that I had. So Sermon might have been a waste, but I took him after Carter, so it was the right spot. I'm looking at the running backs that went after him. Naturally Eli Mitchell and Ramondre Stevens, but not many misses there in what we thought of Sermon at at the 2-4 spot. It was the right pick, and so I guess I feel like and the sandwich pick that I did not take was Eli Moore, and would love to have that back, but I have a lot of exposure to Eli Moore, those of you guys that know me, and so knowing that I was going to get the choice of Moore or St. Brown, it felt like the right move to take a running back there in that spot. So I like the reasoning there. I feel like even though it didn't turn into anything at the 11th spot, I think we're making progress, if you will, to where we're going. And so then when we start to look ahead this year, with the 2 and the 6th spot, in the draft, I feel like we have a fair situation to make some picks that can really build. And I mean, probably that second pick is going to be a quarterback in a super flex, just to try to drive some value to the quarterbacks and just fill it out. Maybe the 6th spot's going to be another quarterback. We'll see what lasts of those top 4, or it's going to be a top end running back to kind of start to build the room. But really, with this team, feel like because of the bad build, so we make the playoffs in year one, do terrible year two in the 11th spot. Expect that it will be a fringy team. Whether it makes the playoffs or doesn't make the playoffs this year, it'll be a fringe. Maybe a 7-8 spot would be my guess. If I were to guess, we'll improve a little bit, but not crazy. And then with the 2 first-round picks next year, we'll probably be in a position to take running backs with those or something like that. And then we should be in a position to go get a win. And if we add in a receiver or two to go with St. Brown and Pittman, and with the young tight end room, we're fine. And so now we just need to keep building the quarterback room and then follow in, because Sanders and Connor and Carson, all those guys will be gone by the time we're ready to compete. So we'll look to dish those off when they have good games, good weeks, good times, and just try to build the running back room up with 3 or 4 deep with the picks that we have and the trades we make. And hopefully by 2023 we'll have some solid running backs. And really, you only need 3. If we could get 3 running backs with the stable we have and those trades that we trade out, and then with the 4 first-round picks and the 4 second-round picks, if we can figure out a way to get 3 reasonable running backs out of those 8 picks, and then we should be in good shape. So thank you guys very much for joining the channel and subscribing to the channel. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the like button. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that this team can compete in 2023, or if you think it's going to lose until 2030. And if you think that I can recover from this, and let me know what you think about the build, and if you see what I see there as far as building it a little bit backwards and not doing a very good job with this startup build, now that can affect your dynasty outlook down the line, and how important that startup draft is, and what you do there. So while I think everything is a value, I think you have to be careful not to be a balance and trying to go balance or get emotionally charged in the draft. So that's kind of the stick of the day. Thank you for joining the Fantasy Football Clown Show, and we'll come back with another video tomorrow.